All right. Yeah, so not a ton happening in the Hooniverse this last week. It's like there's really been no news since the the Chris Chibnall announcement. We're kind of just floating out here waiting for new stuff to happen. So this episode's going to be a little light on Doctor Who news, but we'll talk about some other cool stuff that's happening that's kind of ancillary to that. It'll probably be a lot more like some of our really early episodes, Mark, where you and me were like, where I had never seen Doctor Who, and so we were just talking about like Leonard Nimoy and all of that. So that'll be kind of interesting and fun. So if you're looking for substantive Doctor Who stuff, um, brace
Not
yourself.
too much.
Not so
Not too
much.
much.
But our first thing that we do want to talk about, we want to talk about upcoming Comic Cons that are happening in San Antonio, Alamo City, and Salt Lake City Comic Con fan experience happening in about a month in that Mark and I are both going to, and how that's cool. Mark, tell us about San Antonio and what's been announced there.
So, Alamo City Comic Con, which is going to take place October 23rd, I believe, starting on the 23rd,
Something
if I'm
like
not,
that.
something like that. The important part of this Comic Con is that they're having two very special guests come in. One of them is Billy Piper, and the other one is Karen Gillan. And I'm going to ask both of them to marry me. I will tell Karen that I will have her children gladly. I don't know how we're gonna do
Not
it,
if I
but
get to her first.
I'm gonna freaking die when I meet them because I'm gonna buy those tickets like now. The photo op tickets aren't there yet, but you can buy tickets to ACC. And everybody that lives in the San Antonio area should buy the tickets now because they're gonna sell out like crazy. Last year was insane. The number of people that were there, the celebrities, it was just absolutely insane. Every year, Alamo City Comic Con has been getting better, and they really knocked it out of the park so far with Karen Gillan and Billy Piper showing up. And that's just the first few that they've announced. They still have a whole bunch more that they're going to announce, and I hope we get to see a couple of doctors maybe, like what's going to happen in Utah.
Yeah. So I mean I'm super excited for that. I Here's what I don't understand. Like Austin Comic Con, kind of lame. I mean there were like a couple people there who were kind of cool, but like Alamo City this year knocked it out of the park. It sounds like this coming one's going to be awesome. Salt Lake Comic Con. So there's the normal Salt Lake Comic Con, which will happen in September. And this is Fan Experience, which is their kind of smaller con, but it's more focused on uh, less comicsy stuff, more kind of general broad entertainment. They're going to have now three doctors there, so we'll
Yeah.
get Sylvester McCoy, Davison, Peter Davison, and Matt Smith, who they just announced a couple weeks ago. And this week, meet and greet tickets went on sale, and Mark's going to get to meet his favorite doctor.
Yes, sir. It's gonna
So
be awesome. And I also got tickets to see Alex Kingston. So and I bought the photo out for both with the intention of upgrading once they do the combo because I so want to take a photo with River and the Doctor. That's gonna be so awesome.
that's going to be absolutely amazing. Yeah, so many of my like last year, a bunch of my friends got tickets with Chris Evans and Haley Atwell, and I'm just like, I'm dying right here. I am absolutely dying of jealousy with how awesome these are. I love and hate you guys so much for being able to be there. Salt Lake Comic Con's awesome. It's now the third biggest in the country, so there's a pretty big draw, and they're able to get a lot of guests. Their biggest announcement this week was for LeVar Burton, and we've been promised that there's more. This is like Salt Lake Comic Con always does this. They wait until like 2 weeks before to announce their like last people, and then it's usually like Shatner or Stan Lee or someone like that, and it's just like, oh my gosh, and then they sell out of tickets. So um, I'm really excited. We should know in a couple of weeks too whether uh, they're going to have a podcast alley. In the past couple of years, they have had a podcasting room where people who are bringing podcasts sign up, and you get a slot, and you can record a live podcast in front of a live audience there and get people to come out to it. We definitely do that if they're doing it again. And the second thing would be the panels that are going to be announced for it. I've applied to be on several panels, including several Doctor Who panels about Peter Capaldi's Doctor, the future of Doctor Who from here, and would probably be joined by people like Rebecca Frost from Hello Sweetie, who we've had on here. Uh, we'll see what panels get picked up, and if you want to, you can actually still vote on this by going to Salt Lake Comic Con's webpage and vote for the panels that you want. If you want to go ahead and vote up all of those Doctor Who panels, also vote for the Rick and Morty one and the Film Critics one, because I'll probably be on those too. So,
Nice.
yeah, and a bunch of others. I applied for all sorts of random panels that hopefully I could be on. Like, there's one about John Hughes movies. Oh my gosh, I could
That
talk
would be
for
awesome.
I could
Yeah.
talk for forever on John Hughes movies. But the best thing, that's really always my favorite thing about Salt Lake Comic Con is uh, you've got this amazing spectacle of what's going on in their big hall, which is kind of like their Hall H, and that's where you've got your big name stars and big crowds, and then at the same time you have these smaller panels going on about more esoteric issues, and they could be about everything from cosplaying to feminism to uh, comic book artistry to how to get a novel published to Doctor Who. So, yeah, excited for that. And as soon as I know my FanX schedule, I'll let everyone know and let people know where to find it. But that'll be really awesome, and hopefully we'll be able to record audio and bring it back. Any of those panels that we do, especially if there is a podcast one. Obviously, we just record our podcast for the week from there. But which would be kind of cool, Mark, if you and I would be in the same room.
That would be cool.
That
Yeah.
would be cool. I think
I really
actually,
want to do that.
that week we'd probably end up doing that anyway, even if they don't do a podcast alley. We'd just like hunker down in our hotel room and like Skype in Melissa, and we'd do it with you and me in the same room. So that would be pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I know. I'm so excited for FanX. It's the weekend right before Easter, and I'm just going to have like a crazy couple of nerdy weeks, because then 2 weeks before that is South by Southwest, which hopefully I'm also doing. So that will be crazy. We'll talk more about what goes on there. AMC's Preacher. If anyone is a fan of the Preacher comic books, we'll get our first look at how Seth Rogen decided he wanted to screw up Preacher. So.
But it's Dominic Cooper who's playing Preacher, right?
Yes. So that's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool. I like that.
You know, I don't understand how Austin can get South by Southwest and all that fuss that they make for it, and they can't run a Comic-Con that knocks everybody's socks off.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And you know what? A little bit off of a tangent, just a tiny bit. I followed John Barrowman on Facebook, and he was taking selfies of himself at the Dallas Comic-Con, and he captioned it as that nobody knows who I am. And like, what's you know what? I guarantee you that if you were to try that at Alamo City Comic-Con, like he'd be swamped because there was that many people. And the selfies he was taking, there wasn't that many. I mean, I've never been to Dallas Comic-Con over there. I think they call it the Texas Comic-Con. I'm not sure what they call it.
No, it's Dallas Comic Con.
Okay, and so I've never been there, so I can't really judge. But judging from the selfies he took, it didn't seem like it was all that crowded or whatnot. And the fact that he was able to weave in throughout the crowd, that surprises me.
Yeah. So I
Eh, are you kidding?
Yeah, he'd be swamped over here, wouldn't he?
Yeah, Dallas, I'm sorry, Dallas is not a good, like, it's not a geek town, I guess you could say.
Nope.
It's really not, and neither is Austin. Austin has never been, as much as they have a reputation for being like all alternative and all, loving everyone and blah blah. I'm sorry, Austin is just as segregated and racist, and now it's just
More.
yeah, and it's full of gentrification, all these people moving in with a lot of money. There's no geeks left. Any geeks that were there, they ran them out. They probably live here now because they can afford here and they can't afford Austin,
Good.
Austin, I'm sorry, it's become I don't even like it anymore. I used to go there all the time when I was a kid, like a teenager and in my 20s. Now I'd rather stay home. Why do I
Yeah.
gotta leave?
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, well, this happened this week. The Austin American-Statesman ran a review of Deadpool written by some guy from California.
Oh,
I
I
saw that.
hate
I saw that.
Californians.
Yeah.
I hate Californians who moved to Austin. They've ruined everything.
Yeah, well, but and the guy had a totally thick-headed view of Deadpool. He obviously didn't understand the source material or even bother to even a basic like Wikipedia lookup of understanding what this was about, or maybe being able to take yourself out of it and saying, this movie isn't meant for me, but let's look at it through a critical lens. I went to go see How to Be Single this week. Guess what? That movie, not made for me at all. I could still review it and tell people that, like, this is very much like the following movies, X, Y, and Z. If you liked He's Just Not That Into You, if you like Never Been Kissed, if you like Sex in the City, this is your kind of movie. If this sounds
Nice.
intriguing to you, you're going to like it. If that doesn't sound appealing to you, you're not going to like it. And I can still so I don't get how some guy who works for the San Francisco Chronicle can't take the time to be thoughtful about a review of Deadpool, and that the Austin American-Statesman would run that when there are dozens of geeky film critics that I know because I see them at all of the press screenings and
Because
we
you're one.
talk. And, like, yeah, I'm one of them, and I'm not saying, hey, Austin American-Statesman, run my review. You don't have to run my review. But when there are dozens of us around here, it just doesn't make sense why you don't pick up someone and, pay them J. Jonah Jameson wages. Freelance and a box of meat.
No,
You know, you get a box of meat. It's
But
like,
maybe you should do that. Maybe you should. I mean, whatever they're paying for the rights to that article to the San
exactly.
Francisco Chronicle, I bet you'd work cheaper
Probably,
and and
right?
and you would be much more thoughtful about your reviews. Maybe you should see. I mean, pitch it as saving money and getting more of a local review. Just don't tell them you're from Lake Silencio, because
Well, but see, and that's the thing. I mean, you mentioned how segregated and gentrified the city is getting. I mean, I can't afford to live in Austin. I live down in Kyle. I mean, I live down in the Purple State suburbs. So this is I'm almost halfway in between Austin and San Antonio. I mean, not really, but it would take me 40 minutes to drive to downtown Austin and about an hour and 10 minutes to get to downtown San Antonio. So I'm almost halfway in.
almost halfway.
Almost halfway. But it's ridiculous, and Austin there is a geeky backbone there of people in the tech industry and who write for software companies and things like that. But a lot of them are kind of like programmers, and I don't know if you guys watched Silicon
I
Valley at all.
love Silicon Valley.
I mean, it's just that's like my South by Southwest interactive experience is like going and hanging out with all of those people. It's like I know all of these people. It's ridiculous. And they're all trying to pitch something and they're all kind of douchey. And but that being said, I kind of love South by Southwest. But you're right. It's why Austin can't have an amazing Comic Con because like grassroots geeks who are just like I just want to watch comic books and I want to watch Netflix or whatever don't exist here. You get either like bourgeois geeks or you get like professional geeks and you get a lot of kind of douchey people in that area. So that's what's wrong with Austin. No, everybody stop moving here. Seriously.
Now that we pissed off everybody in Austin.
Yeah.
No, so I got a pretty. It's funny to me a story that I had my cousin come in with his family last night. He just dropped in, and ended up spending the night and taking off today. So I was talking to him, and he told me, "Hey, have you seen the Deadpool movie?" I'm like, "No, I haven't seen it." He's like, "It's really good. It's pretty funny. It's really intense." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Like, when did you see that?" I'm like, "Oh, we just got back from there." And I was like, "What do you mean?" Because he's got a 4-year-old girl and a 6-year-old boy. And I'm like, what do you mean you just got back? He's like, yeah, man, and we came in from Brownsville and we went to the River Center Mall and I saw the movie was playing. And I said, I want to watch the movie. And I was like, well, did my mom take care of the kids? Because they went to my parents' house first. He's like, no. He's like, this is the funny part. He said that he took the kids with him and the movie was playing and he said like about 20 minutes into the movie that his son was like, Daddy, I'm scared. And
yeah.
And then he said, so here I am covering my kid's eyes and I'm holding him close to me and I'm telling him, it's okay, don't worry. And when I look up, he said, like, there's these gigantic boobs in this one scene and my daughter's like, ah ha ha. So he's covering her eyes. He's like, I got both kids with their eyes covered. My kid's crying that he's scared and my other kid wants to see what's on screen. And he said, my wife just stood up and said, I think I should take them out for a walk. So he said, other than that, he said, it's a good movie, but he said, it's definitely not a kid's movie.
that is exactly true. Like, what? Okay, I'm not going to be judgmental because there are some parents who will decide that, like, this kind of content is okay for their teenage kids or whatever, but yeah, Deadpool is not a children's movie.
No, it's not.
And I want to be very, very explicit about that. Don't effing take your kids to Deadpool. Like, take them to go see Kung Fu Panda, stash them in that theater, you go see Deadpool. Totally cool. You should do that.
That's so hilarious, though. I love that.
I would never think to take children under, like, 16 probably to Deadpool. I haven't seen it. But just knowing the source material, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what your cousin was thinking. That's crazy.
I mean, he's not really a geek. I mean, he likes Batman, but he doesn't know the source material.
Everyone likes Batman.
Like, of course, because he rocks.
He's like the easiest one to like, you know? Like,
yeah, but I guess he thought, oh, it's a comic book movie. But he quickly learned. He quickly learned.
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm so into the geekery of it, and I'm also thinking of this through the lens of my own children and what they are and aren't ready for. Like, I did not take my son, my Avengers-obsessed son, to see the premiere of Avengers Age of Ultron, to the press screening. Why? Because I don't know how dark that's going to get.
Right.
And, you know, it's been really funny. We've been playing Avengers, Lego Marvel Avengers, and his favorite character is Quicksilver. Like, I didn't let him play. I didn't let him watch that final cutscene where Quicksilver dies, so that he didn't have to know that his favorite character. Because he's like, I love Quicksilver. He's the best. He's so funny and he's fast. And I'm like, yeah.
Not fast enough, buddy. Not fast enough.
Oh.
Just make sure he sticks to, like, the X-Men Quicksilver for now. Like,
Yeah.
You
So
know, this is going to be the problem that DC faces with Batman v Superman v Batman, and the
same
Justice
thing.
League, because
Yeah.
they're bringing in Doomsday, and they've already hinted that Darkseid is going to make an appearance. And while I love it personally, I love Darkseid and Doomsday, and I think they're going the right direction. It's going to be a bit much for the younger crowd, and it's going to have to be at least PG-13. It can't be PG. And the wanton violence they're going to have is going to be too much for the little ones.
And the way the Nolan and Man of Steel movies have been going recently is not very kid friendly.
Right.
So yeah. I'm sorry, Melissa. What were you saying?
no, I was gonna say, isn't PG-13 what they aim for anyway with these movies?
Yeah.
This is true. Yeah.
I think, it might be on par, but I agree. Like, and this is one of the criticisms I've had of the DC universe in terms of movies is that, and even initially the TV programs with Arrow, is that sometimes they're just too dark, and when you take Superman dark, that's to me a line crossed, and I, if that's how they want to go, that's fine, but at some point you're going to start alienating people.
Mhm.
I agree with that. Yeah. And you know what,
They
Melissa?
alienated me with Superman. I know we have a difference of opinion on Man of Steel, but that's just not the kind of character he is, like dark, going dark like that. I'm trying to reserve judgment for Batman versus Superman. I am excited for it for a few reasons, but not to the level I would have been had I enjoyed Man of Steel more, and had I not worried about how dark they're going to take that character in particular.
Well,
Did
Superman.
you see the new trailer this week?
It looks
Oh
awesome.
my gosh. This is the first time I got really super excited about it, was that
It
opening
looks-
Batman scene. Well, no, I got really excited when I saw Gal Gadot, and they're like, is she with you? I thought she was with you.
With you.
Like,
Yeah.
Those two things tell me, like, I should be excited for this movie. Anyway, sorry. I keep interrupting you guys.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say, Batman, Superman has gone dark, but this would require a lengthy conversation. He has gone dark before, but I like that he's going a little dark, and I like that they're going a little dark because it makes it extremely different from Marvel. It's a different experience. I'm not saying one's better than the other because at this point I don't think that anymore at all. I don't think there's a better or superior version of comic book movies. They're just different and they have different feels, and I really like that. But I'm with Melissa that they're at least going to lose that young audience because the parents are going to be like, maybe this is too much. Case in point, Gotham. Even if it's on TV, I don't let Julia watch that with me.
Yeah.
Because Gotham is surprisingly brutal. Surprisingly brutal. I could not believe that they would go to the lengths they would go to on that show in terms of killing off characters and how brutally it's done on screen. Like, that completely surprised me. Love the show. I really like it. But, yeah, kids should not be watching that show. And I think in general the DC movies are going in that direction. And I'm okay with that. Because, like I said, it's just a different feel. There's a different texture to those movies as you would have with Marvel. Even though Marvel itself is starting to go dark.
Yeah. I mean, I think we should... that's the great thing about the genre, is you can have many different kinds and flavors. I wish maybe that parents were a bit more thoughtful before they're like, oh, it's a comic book movie, I'm going to take my little kids. But, this happens, and parents took their kids to go see RoboCop in the 80s, and,
True.
I don't want to be totally judgmental, but I also want to be like, don't take your kids to see Deadpool. If DC were to make a Lobo movie, and they were to make that Lobo movie right, and it was rated R, you should not take your kids to see a Lobo movie and think like, oh yeah, that's gonna be a kids movie. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy meets Superman out in space, bounty hunter. It's like Boba Fett. Nope.
No, not at
Nope.
all.
Nope.
And I don't like Lobo. I don't know. I don't understand the appeal. Just like with Deadpool, I don't get it.
Yeah, I get it. He's funny. No.
He's funny if
Yeah.
you like frat boy humor. I think that's why I haven't gone to see it. I have a low threshold for that. I can take it to an extent, and then I'm like, I'm out of here, and I don't want to waste, $8 like to figure out what that threshold is for a Deadpool movie. I'll just wait, like.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and that's what I've been telling people. If you're a Deadpool fan, this is the movie made for you. If you're pool curious and you think that you would like Deadpool, if this sounds interesting to you, then you might also enjoy this movie. But for most people, this is this is an acquired taste, and I think that's okay to say and be able to then judge a film on its technical merits and story and composition and characters and editing and so on and so forth. So anyway, where were we going before we went so totally off track?
I have no idea.
We were talking
Okay.
about the Comic Cons.
We were
yeah.
talking about the Comic
Yeah, and then
Cons.
we got off on.
We're still on topic number 1.
We're still on topic number one.
Can I just say real quick, I'm very jealous of you two for what you're going to be doing. I would love to take a picture with those people and to meet them. So I'm quite jealous of both of you. Um, and I'm also just consistently amazed at how much Alamo City Comic Con just keeps topping itself every year to the point where they had to split it in half, and now there's a separate horror con
Yeah.
because I think they can't even fit all the horror stuff into the regular Comic Con. It's kind of bursting at the seams, and I'm quite proud as a native San Antonian that we can bring something like this that's a big deal and really the best in Texas. I mean, all these other big cities like Austin, Houston, Dallas, they just don't compare. And that's one of the few times we can say that other than championship years for the Spurs, So, yeah, I'm quite proud and happy, and I hope to be there. Alamo City, not Salt Lake City, obviously, but I hope to be there, and maybe we can all go and have a talk about it since you're only an hour and 10 minutes away. But I have to
Exactly.
see
You're
when
coming,
my
Andy.
vacation time is.
Yeah.
And
You know what?
because, I know I'm pretty sure I might be on my cruise when it
Don't be. All 3 of us need to be there and take a picture with both companions.
Oh
That
my
would be
gosh.
so awesome.
Oh my gosh.
We can put a little black bar on Melissa.
Well,
if she
it's
wants
not
to
up
be-
to me, it's up to my friend Sophia, but I will see her at the dinner tonight. Um, so yeah, maybe I'll talk to her about it and we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely going to try and do that. Because I had friends who came in for Austin City Comic Con and stayed with me. Who Mark, we're gonna hang out with them when we're there. We've been in the past. They have thrown wild parties in their hotel rooms, and I've sat there and been the only non-drunk person. And so
Well, that'll be
you and me can be there and just like watch everyone be crazy, and it'll be fun. But they're good people. Anyway, they came into town for Austin Comic Con, and it was all right. But they're like, should we come back for Alamo City? And I'm like, I don't know. And now it's like, yeah, definitely. You need to go to Alamo City. So I will do that, and if I'm going, maybe they'll come back, and we'll caravan down every day and do that. So I'm definitely going to do that. I mean, you only had to say Karen Gillan, like Billy Piper, meh.
Still, it's Rose. I want to take a picture with her because it's Doctor Who history.
Hmm.
Oh, you know what? And Robin Lord Taylor's going to be there too. Penguin
Oh.
from Gotham.
Yeah.
They're going to have, and they haven't even announced the full slate of celebrities yet. It's going to be insane. And Melissa, they've done this in what, 4 years of existence only,
Yeah, it
and they're
hasn't
kicking
been very
all
long
sorts of
at
ass.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
it's awesome.
Hey, I just had a crazy thought. If he's going to be there in October, most shows are usually in full production by then. I've got a crazy thought.
Oh, Penguin's gone.
Jada Pinkett Smith is coming back to
Coming back.
Gotham. I
Hmm.
think Fish Mooney's going to
Fish Mooney.
take some revenge on Penguin, and he's going to. I mean, he's not going to be dead, but I think he's going to be gone at the end of this season.
Huh.
You heard it here first.
Idea, because I do not watch this show, but yeah, what they said.
Yeah,
You need
no.
to. It's a good show.
Penguin.
Yeah, I'll watch that when you guys watch Rectify, whatever.
Ah!
Okay, I need to get on watching Rectify. I need to. It's right behind Black
You
Mirror.
have till June. I think it's the last season coming up, and I think it comes out in June. There's only like 20-something episodes. I'm
I
telling
will.
you, for 3 seasons. It's
I
not.
will. I will rectify that. Black Mirror is pretty good too. I'm glad you're on that. It's on your radar. It's actually pretty good.
It's
weird good.
You can't binge watch it though because it's so freaky. You watch one and like I tried to watch a second one and I'm just like, okay, no, I can't. Like it just.
So you saw the pig one, right?
I saw the pig one, and then I saw the one with where they're all in boxes and they have to be on the treadmill and.
Oh, the American Idol-esque one.
Yeah. So those are and I'm going through because there's other ones that I need to see.
That last one on the first season is really good. That really makes the entire thing like it coalesces with it. It's very, very good. And there's that whole question about how far we want technology to go in our lives and how willing we are to like. What was it? I read an article about some guy putting chips in his retina to improve eyesight and memory, whatever. Like, do we really want to go that far? And that episode is exactly about that. I highly recommend it. Once you watch it, you're really gonna like it, I think.
Yeah. Oh no, totally. And I've heard about that episode, and I want to get to it. So I'm excited. So, Melissa, have you seen Black Mirror or?
I'm not.
Okay, because I was going to ask you whether I should continue Black Mirror or go to Rectify.
Oh, she's going to say Rectify.
You're just going to tell me.
I'm biased because Rectify, I'm serious, it's one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. And that's saying something. There's a lot of great TV out there.
Yeah, well, and Transparent is coming back, and so I feel like I need to watch those so that I can watch the new ones as well. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have to throw Mr. Robot in there.
No, that's great.
Oh, yes! Gosh. I totally did not expect how good that damn show was.
Yeah, I watched.
And the actress was on the one who played the freaky Swedish wife. She was on what's it called on Thursday? The DC show, the
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow. I couldn't remember the damn name.
Yeah.
She was in Legends of Tomorrow as the Russian woman, the scientist.
Ah, that's true.
Did you recognize her?
Yeah.
No, well, she speaks Swedish all throughout Doctor Who.
So I'm like, that's where I recognized her from.
Robot, yeah.
Yeah, from Mr. Robot. Yeah.
I'm so happy she's getting more work because she was awesome. She's going to be a series regular next season.
Really?
Robot.
I wonder how that's going to work out, though.
Yeah, I don't know, but from what I understand, she is a regular now. So.
Speaking of people becoming series regulars and how that's going to work out, and casting.
Cue the sad music.
Cue the sad music. And so we're going to read some tea leaves into this. But Haley Atwell was cast in the pilot of a new ABC drama called Conviction. And now, hold on. I've been trying to find this out, and no one has been able to explain it to me just yet. Her name is Carter Morrison. And she is a brilliant but rebellious daughter of a former president who is blackmailed into taking a job as the head of Los Angeles' newly created Conviction Integrity Unit. Along with a team of lawyers, investigators, and forensic experts, she'll investigate cases where there's credible suspicion that the wrong person may have been convicted of a crime. So they're trying to do like cold case, CSI meets like Project Innocence or like Making of a Murderer. Like they got the wrong guy. It was the guy with the one arm who did it instead. So I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me. But here's a question. If Haley Atwell is the daughter of a former president, is she going to have an American accent?
Probably.
Hmm.
Not probably. It's highly likely. Unless she went to
Uh,
boarding school in England or some stupid reason like that.
uh,
I
you know,
didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I'm just like now I'm kind of like I don't think I've actually ever seen her in anything with an American accent, but part of her charm is the British accent. Let's face it. Especially like last week when she called that guy a plonker. I just laughed out loud because just the
Right.
way she said it, it sounded so awesome. You know.
right? There have
Yeah.
been a there have been a couple times on Agent Carter where she fakes an American accent, and it's really funny. Like
Yeah.
where they're trying to like infiltrate stuff. There's one where she did like a well, hi y'all, and she kind of sounded like Jan Hooks from Pee Wee's Big Adventure when she's taking them around the Alamo. Alamo doesn't have a basement. So yeah. Anyway, and then there was another one where they're like inspecting the milk trucks or whatever, and she's like pretending to be all hard ass, and I'm like, okay, that's not like it's a very good American accent, but the only thing I can compare it to is um, when they made Karen Gillan shave her head for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, why do you take away one of their single best features to make them be in your show or your movie? It just makes me so sad. It's like, why? I love Haley Atwell's voice. I love her accent. Don't take it away from me. So,
Accent is not there for your consumption.
but it
That
is
was
who she
really.
legit.
Yeah, no, you
The,
you equate it with her now. I
but
mean,
but the opposite of that is she. If it's not there for my consumption, it's not there for anybody's consumption. And why should she be forced into having an American accent to appease an American audience?
well, she didn't have to take the part, so clearly she's not trying to appease anyone except maybe her bank account or something, her resume.
Oh.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think about that, but I'm not happy about it because it could spell the end of Agent Carter. Although they did say that she could do both. If Agent Carter gets a third season, fingers crossed,
Hmm.
then she could do both. And both shows are on ABC, so
Hmm.
there is some incentive for them to work it out, the two shows. And since
Mm,
Agent Carter is only 8 episodes, it's entirely possible she could film it in her break from this other show, which I'm assuming is 22 episodes because that's the normal drama order for a major network. But, they could do it a limited thing where it's only 13 or something. Who knows?
Hmm.
But, uh,
Well,
or like, because, and ABC more than anyone does this sometimes. Like, How to Get Away with Murder, one of their biggest dramas, is only 16. And they did it specifically so Viola Davis would be free to do more movies. Uh,
exactly.
so they've done this before for people where they've cut the episode order down in order to accommodate the lead actor's schedule. So hopefully that's what would happen, and we would get a third season of Agent Carter. I'm just trying to be hopeful because I love Agent Carter. I don't want to see it go. And you know what? Especially if you're right and she has an American accent on this new show, then yeah, that's even more reason to want Agent Carter and have her be more herself.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing is you look at the legitimate press at Variety and Deadline, and they're all reporting the same thing. They'll work around it. This doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be a third season for Agent Carter. It just means that they will have to work out the schedule. They did this knowing what would happen. Also, this is only a pilot. It's not a full series order. It's not even a 13 episode order. The next step will be they'll make the pilot, ABC will look at it, and maybe this is one of those instances like the Adrian Pilecki led
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman pilot, where they'll look at it and say, yeah, we passed, thanks. I mean, the real problem that I have with this is, as much as I love Haley Atwell, this is just another procedural crime drama. And even though they're taking the opposite task of going and trying to look for people who have been wrongly uh, wrongly put in jail. I think that there's just so much noise in that sector. I mean, I guess people watch those, but I've never watched an episode of NCIS or any of those related shows, so I don't know.
And that's the problem. There's NCIS, Los Angeles, New York, Louisiana, Brownsville. I don't know, man. There's SVU Special Victims, SVU We Caught You Downloading a Movie. Like, there's just, it's oversaturated, and she's gonna jump into that genre, and I'm not sure it fits her well, and I don't know how the American accent's gonna go. Like Rebel Wilson, when she did the American accent in that Super Fun Friday.
Super Fun Night, yeah.
Super Fun Night. Like that, the accent was horrible. It was so distracting, and it didn't work. And I'm afraid that it's just not going to work, which doesn't necessarily bode bad for Haley, because just like Rebel Wilson, I mean, it was just a blip, and she went right back to making movies. Mm-hmm. Haley will do well. She's great, but I'm just more worried about what this is going to do to Agent Carter. Because Agent Carter is that good.
Well, and we've got Haley Atwell doing Conviction. We have Dominic Cooper doing Preacher. So they would have to juggle both of those schedules. But if ABC is committed to doing this, so I mean, the first season of Agent Carter was kind of a like, well, we're gonna cut the number of episodes that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to do because it costs too much money. But instead, you're going to get 8 episodes of Agent Carter, and while Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone, you're going to get Agent Carter for 8 weeks. And that was great. That was the smart move for them to make. If they continue to do something like that, then I don't see how this doesn't work out very well. But I also applaud them for making these in the British model of shows.
Right.
We're going to end this storyline at the end with the end of season 2. And that's going to be the end of the adventures of Peggy Carter in Los Angeles. And then the 3rd season will probably be something else. It might be back in New York. It might be in London. It might be in Chicago. Who knows?
Or underground in the beginnings of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It could be. It could be in Washington, D.C. So, yeah, that would actually probably make the most sense. Who knows what they're going to do, well, except for maybe Jeff Loeb and the other people at, like, Marvel TV. So we'll see what happens, and don't discount the fact that maybe ABC passes on Agent Carter, but then they say, well, let's make it a Netflix limited series too, and add that to what we're already doing on Netflix.
That's true. So, and another thing that pertains to this podcast anyway is that this pretty much guarantees that Haley's not going to be our next Doctor.
Yes, I think
she's going to be far too busy.
I think that pretty much seals that deal. So
only if it goes to series.
Only if it goes.
You said, Andy, it's only a pilot order. There's no series order yet.
True.
You know.
Assuming it goes to series, we should say.
I'm not that I don't want her. I mean, obviously she believes in the project. She likes it, or she wouldn't have signed on. But so it's not like I don't want her to work. But it's not like she won't have a problem finding more work if this doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. She's got stuff lined up.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
So, yeah. I mean, I will watch just because I love Haley Atwell that much.
Yeah.
So, and I'll give.
I saw Selfie. I'm gonna watch that.
Hey,
I really like Selfie.
Selfie was getting good at the end. It ended just as they were finding their footing, man.
Exactly.
It was okay, but for me, it was all about Amy Pond's on screen, and she's freaking cute, and she's speaking with an American accent. That worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That American accent was so funny, though. It was awesome.
Valley Girl.
It was so good. Oh my god. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. But yeah, so I don't know. but I love accents. I mean, I wouldn't want. I mean, I didn't like having Idris Elba doing an American accent when he was on The Office.
What about The
I
Wire?
Yeah. Well, okay. It kind of
No, no,
it
no,
kind
no,
of
no.
worked on The
Stringer
Wire,
Bell, he was awesome.
but I'd rather have Luther Idris Elba, um, with
Right.
that British accent. I don't know. There's just something about it. I think it's great. Um, I I don't know. I think everyone should either speak with British accents or we should bring back that mid-Atlantic accent that
Upper
everyone used to
crust,
have.
the upper crust, elite,
Have
waspy.
Have either of you seen Hail Caesar yet?
No,
No.
I
Okay,
haven't.
they're filming. Voldemort is filming this costume drama, and
Baltimore.
yeah, they lost their lead actor, and so they bring in this cowboy to try and play the male lead, and he's just awful. He can't say any of the lines, and everyone's got these like great Middle Atlantic accents, and it's awesome. And they're trying to get him to say the line, "Would that it were so simple." And he's like, would that it were so simple. Would that it were so simple. And like, and then I I won't spoil what they end up shortening it to, but it's hilarious. And so Fiennes is trying to get him to say it, and it's just this great scene of trying to get this guy who's like obviously has no training in diction or speech to like to speak with that accent. Okay, well, we're gonna have to wrap up, and like I thought might happen, we will have to save talking about Brian Fuller and Star Trek until next week. But next week we will do that. Next week we are gonna bring some actual Doctor Who-esque content back. Melissa, tell us about what it is we're gonna do.
Well, I had this idea that we could look at the new Who doctors. Now that we've talked about every doctor and what they've done, including the first two seasons of Capaldi, we are going to revisit each actor, not the doctor that they played, but the actor, and see what they've been up to since they left Who. And it's interesting because I think it helped some actors a lot more than others, the great exposure that you get as the doctor. But it's been a little bit of a mixed bag, I think, some of their post-Who careers. And so we're going to get to talk about, projects big and small that they've done, television, movies, anything like that. And I think it'll be a lot of fun to kind of compare and contrast how each one's done since they've moved on. And we're going to start with John Hurt, who is, of course, the War Doctor. Because chronologically speaking, if you look at the Doctor's timeline, maybe we didn't see him until the Smith era, but chronologically speaking, came before Eccleston. So we'll do him first. And it's funny because he's the only one who, being the Doctor, didn't help or hurt his career just because it was already so well established, I think.
Yeah.
So that'll be a little different, but then we'll get to Eccleston, and I guess we'll go chronologically still. So we'll do
Yep.
Tennant and then Matt Smith. And I got the idea to do this because last night I watched a post-Who David Tennant movie, a rom-com that was pretty not good. And we could talk about that, called The Decoy Bride. And, I only watched it because I saw David Tennant's name. It's on Netflix, and, I see his face. I'm like, oh, let me see this. And I was like, oh, no, I shouldn't have seen this. And, but we could talk more in depth about that when we get to Tenet. But next week it'll be John Hurt, and that will be very interesting.
Yeah, and I hadn't talked with you about doing this, but since we were talking about Selfie, I think we should also add the companions in after we've done those as well. So we'll figure out the schedule for that, whether we want to do all the doctors and then the companions, or whether we want to intersperse them in the same way. But we'll do that for the next 8 weeks or so and talk about everyone's post-Who careers. I'm really excited for that. I'm also excited. We're coming up in just a few weeks on our 1-year anniversary, and because we took a 2-week hiatus around the new year. Our 50th episode will actually be the 1 year anniversary of our first episode. So we're going to have to plan something special for that. I don't know what that is. If you have an idea, shoot me a message on Facebook or something, and we'll do something. I don't know. We'll come up with something though, and it will be hopefully more fun. If not, it'll just be us talking about like what Matt Smith did after Doctor Who, which will be kind of fun anyway. But until then, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks Mark and Melissa for being here as always. You two, in my opinion, always make the podcast. I'm glad it's not just me talking, because the whole premise of this is I don't know enough about Doctor Who, and having you two here always helps balance me out. So
is your Valentine showing?
Aww.
Are we in the spirit of things?
Will you be my Whovian?
Will you be my Whovian? Nice, I love that.
Aww, that's adorable. Yeah, but really, thank you both. I really do appreciate it, and I don't thank you enough for taking time out of your week to do this with me. So thanks. But especially thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you all next time.
Goodbye, Austin.
Bye.
And that's over.
I'm sure we insult Austin for
Right.
that one.